I'm Red Hawk, and I'm going to be doing a video on how to make a witch's ladder. Okay, you'll need your thread, string, silk, ribbon, anything like that. It needs to be 1.5 foot long. You'll also need 13 beads, something for the bottom for decoration, and a ring or something at the top for decoration, and a pair of scissors to cut it at the end. Also, you need to have your rhyme, which yours is 13 lines long. Okay, so first of all, I've already had the thread, measured it and cut it. I've put a knot in the bottom, and I've put 2 beads on the bottom just for decoration. So first of all, we measure with our finger from there to there, and we tie a knot. So after we've tied the knot, we get our bead and we say the first line of our rhyme. This witch's ladder made with thought and love. Then what we do is we actually measure it again and make another knot. Try and keep your knots as even as possible, because it gives a much nicer finish, and also that's how it's supposed to be. So might take a little bit of fiddling. Then you need to thread your bead through again as you say your second line, so the energies we use can fit like a glove. Then we measure it again with our finger. And then after we've tied this knot, making sure that it's as even as possible to the last one, we say the third line. The god and goddess is present for this rhyme. Then we measure it again and we put another knot, and we get ready to say the fourth line. Which is made to focus and help spells stay on time. Then we measure it again, ready to make the next knot. Sometimes takes a little bit of fiddling, but it's worth it to see the finished product. So that's about right, I would say. And we get ready to put the 5th bead on. And we say the 5th line. We call forth elements of water, air, earth and fire. And then we knot it again, making sure we measure it. And we put the next bead on, which is number 6, and we say the 6th line. So it can help build our energy for our highest desire. And then we measure it again. By now I would have thought that you have some idea of what you're doing. So we just put the next knot in. And we get our 7th bead. And we say our 7th line. My power grows stronger with all that I learn. And we put the bead on. Then we measure it again to make the next knot. get ready to put our 8th line. While I give commitment and love as thanks in return. Then we measure it again, ready for the next knot. We say the 9th line with the 9th bead. My confidence gets higher with each thing I do. By now you should have something that's starting to look like this. Of course you can use acorns, you can use beads, you can use anything of that sort of shape. Some people like to use really natural stuff like string, acorns, maybe even some chestnuts. So now we put in the 10th knot and we grab the 10th bead and we say the 10th line. All the time making sure to myself I stay true. Then we measure it again and we make the next knot. Remember now you're using your rhyme, not mine. These words I specifically made to fit my needs and what I think of this witch's ladder. You need to make something that fits with you. So now we're on number 11 and we've got the 11th knot ready, so we put the 11th bead on and my line is I can astral travel or stay connected to the ground, and I measure it again and put the knot in. And then we put the next line. Always knowing that love and protection surrounds. We measure it again and we get ready to put the next knot. So you will be finished by there, or coming up to there. My next line is with each bead and each knot that I can see. Put the next knot in. Measuring it with your finger. I bind this by the rule of 3. And my last line's coming up. Until next time, so mote it be. So you'll have something that looks like that by now. And then we make another knot. And then we need to put a ring on it or a bead or something. So I'm going to put a ring on it. But don't forget you could put a bead on it so it looks just like what the end did as well. So we knot that and then we cut it. Try and cut it as near, but making sure that it's not going to come undone. And then what you do is you hold it on your finger and we use it to focus on our spells. So it helps us focus, it helps us rhyme, and it helps us keep in time. So I've made this one, but I have also made this one earlier. As you can see, this one has a little cap for a ring and it has a little cat charm at the bottom as well, and it's much smaller, as in it's got silk thread and it's got smaller beads. So this is a lesson for the Witch's Ladder, and it's made with for our teacher Fauna Wicker, and I am Red Hawk, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I shall see you again soon. Thank you.